Hi,
Whoa,
Danny.
there she is. What's going on? What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Oh, okay. Hold on. Uh, I am planning to look good because I'm looking for excuses to look good because we do not have that anymore.
Isn't that true?
So
That's so
good.
true, We need a
Yeah,
reason to take a shower, to brush our teeth.
exactly. And to get out of our PJs to look
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Like,
You're
yeah.
telling the truth here. You're definitely telling the truth when it comes to that.
Oh my God. Yeah. And like when I the other day I left, I went out because I had to meet someone, and like on my way I just smelled perfume, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I remembered I had some in the car, and then I completely forgot it. Like I parked the car, I walked out, I just smelled like this perfume, women walking by, and I'm like, oh my God, people are actually doing stuff like perfume. I forgot all about my perfumes and my high heels and everything. Like, so when you invited me today, I said, okay, I have to use this as an excuse to look good, Like I took a shower, I washed my hair, I put on
Wow.
some and
Okay.
clothes and
Love the
earrings and
earrings.
everything.
I love the earrings. That's great. Dr.
Yeah,
Vibe,
well,
how
we
you
have
doing?
to do it. Good,
Susu,
good.
how you doing? Dr. Vibe, how are you? It's great, man. Yeah, I think we need reasons to kind of dress up now. We need reasons to get ourselves together, whether it's even just
Yes,
going to the grocery store, whatever
that's
it
true.
is.
That is so true. Yes.
So, how are you? How's everything going?
Everything's going really well. Let me clean the camera. It looks like yours is so clear. Oh yeah, this is much better. Yes. So
All
yeah,
right.
the lockdown, man, I'm so used to it. I'm enjoying it. I'm a bit worried uh, what I would feel if I have to leave. Like if this is over, I don't know. I think that will take me more time to adjust than adjusting to be in the lockdown.
I just had this conversation with somebody just about a half an hour ago. I just had
Okay.
the same. He actually likes he likes the lockdown. He's enjoying it so much. So I
Yeah.
just had a similar conversation. So let's get started. Let me introduce you, right? And let me tell people what this is
Okay.
all about. So everybody,
Okay.
welcome to Let's Talk with Coach Stone. What I decided to do was to start having conversations with my friends and people, experts, and people that I really enjoy, and people that I like to hang out with and have conversations with, and bring them to you. So all of the people that I'm going to be bringing over the next month or so are friends of mine or people that I know. And what we do is we have really amazing conversations. So I decided, why not bring these conversations that we have to you guys, and so that we can all learn and grow together. Because every time I talk to Meti, I learn something. We have great conversations. So I thought, let's bring it to you. So Meti is the founder and QVO. She'll tell us what that means in a minute. Of Queendom Media Company based out of Ethiopia. She's a documentarist. She's a women's advocate. She's a mentor. She's an adventure seeker. She does all kinds of amazing things in this world. And so
Oh,
I love having conversations with Meti. So I decided we're going to do this live in front of you guys. You can engage and ask us questions. So welcome, Meti. Welcome to Let's Talk with Coach Stone.
thank you so much, Danny. Thank you for inviting me. And it's always great to be at your presence because, as you said, we always have amazing conversations every time we chat, be it on text or on calls, on video. We always have really amazing, uplifting, and heartwarming conversations. So I always enjoy that, and it's an honor for me to be here on your platform. So yeah, and actually, how I have been is great because this whole situation gave me a new opportunity. It gave me a new perspective because um, there are a few things that I wanted to do, but then said, I don't have enough time. It's not the
Yeah,
right time.
yeah,
I don't have. the people, I don't have the budget, I don't have this, I don't have that. I've always putting off things because of excuses. Like they were not real reasons, but excuses, really. And then now when I got this opportunity, I revised what I wanted to do and what I put off because I didn't have enough time. Well, it was not true, but I did not make time for them. Now, I remember one of the first conversations I had was with you because you always are active on Instagram, on social media. It always amazes me how you do things. So I consulted with you and you guided me through starting Instagram Live. And for your information, this coming Thursday, it's going to be 6 weeks, and I only missed like 5 days
That's
or so.
amazing. That is
I know.
amazing. That's listen.
I
Okay, hold on.
know.
Before we jump into that, because I
Okay.
mean, just tell everybody a little bit about sort of what you do. I want them. I want to come back to this because this is really what you're saying. Is you're saying a lot. A lot of us make excuses. We plan and plan and plan, and the cure to that is action. So I'm going to acknowledge you for all of this in a minute, but I want you to talk to people a little bit about what you do before we jump into like what you're doing now. Like tell people what you do.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay, so I am a multi-passionate person. I do so many things. I'm a very high energy. Like people who know me know that this is my voice in the middle of the night. 2 a.m. This is my voice. This is the energy level I have. 7 a.m., 6 p.m., whatever time. So I with all this energy and passion, I cannot just be doing one thing. So I am a TV producer and host. I engage in different events. I also work as a mentor. I work with young people. I do on events, on discussions, workshops. I facilitate those, and I also facilitate different kinds of trainings. And yeah, women's issues is my passion. So I work on that. I have been leading this women's association. We call it AWIB, Association of Women in Boldness. In 2018, I was the president. That's when we met, right?
17, I
Yes,
think 17, 18, yeah.
17. Yeah, I was the president elect, and then 18, I led it as a president. Um, Africa is my passion. I am born and raised in Ethiopia, but I have always been a Pan-Africanist. I am crazy about Africa, and I am mad about the narratives of Africa. So I believe that one of my callings is to change narratives around Africa and on Africa, because most of them are ill-intentioned and they were wrong. They were outright false. So one of my mission is examining narratives of Africa and changing them and rewriting history and bringing so many stories on spotlight. I am crazy about travel. It's like all my savings are gone because of traveling. So I work, I travel, I work, I travel, I work. And then I say one time, how am I going to make money? At least how am I going to get paid to travel instead of spending my. And then I said, I am working on media. I love traveling. How about a travel show? So I started my travel show. I was on
Amazing.
radio first. After like almost 3 years, I moved it to TV. It's on hold right now, but then I'm coming back to the travel show. What I love talking, as you can see. I love connecting
I
with
love it.
people.
I
I
love your
love
energy.
learning, and I love sharing what I learn.
So let me ask you this.
So that's me in short.
No, that's great. No, that's really great. Let me ask, where did you find like this passion for like TV and producing and documentary? Where did that come from?
So that came from an amazing legend. Actually, I had an honor to interview him. I just posted the Zoom interview I conducted a few weeks ago on Zoom,
Okay.
like 2 hours ago. I just
Wow.
posted it, The Africa Way with Salim Amin. So his father, Mohammed Amin, he was a great photojournalist. the stories he told. He's been working with different news agencies, with different media platforms, back like for about 40 years. He's been on TV 40 years working on that. And, uh, like the image of Africa for me growing up was, and I'm sure for the entire globe, is Africa is a dark continent infested with disease, war,
Yes.
poverty, illiteracy, and everything bad and everything sad, everything dark is Africa. And
Right.
then when I was in 93, and I was probably, I think I was 12, 13. So then he started
Yes.
this show, uh, Africa Journal. And Africa Journal is anything but that image. In Africa Journal,
Okay.
because when he was working with different news media houses, he had to give them news. He had to give them what they needed. They
Right.
were true, but at the same time, they were not so, they were not a good image of Africa. So
Right.
he said, I should do this. And he started Africa Journal, where he showed the beauty, diversity,
Uh,
culture, resources, and everything
really.
that Africa
I love that.
has.
That's awesome. I love that.
I saw that. Yeah. And I saw that the first episode, I said, oh my God, I did not know this Africa. I realized the power of media. And I
Yeah.
said, when I grow up, I'm going to be on TV. I don't know
Wow.
what I was going to do. I had
That's
no idea
awesome.
what TV, but then I said, I'm going to be on media and I'm going to be telling those kinds of stories, like
That's
positive
amazing.
stories. That's when I started. Like teenager, I grew up wanting to be on media. So Muhammad Amin has been the role model that I never met in person, but still now I grow from his works. And then the stalker that I am, I stalked his son down on social media. Like seriously, I stalked him. So I made Salim, I think 2009 or 10. He gave
Yeah.
a training at the African Union for journalists. And I took that training because I was already in media. I had a radio show by then. And I took that training and I told him my story. I interviewed him for the Amharic radio. I said, nope,
Yeah.
I'm going to have an English speaking guest. And then I did that.
Wow.
And then from that moment on, I never heard from him. But then I saw him on Twitter and then I stalked him. And then I made sure that I had to meet him when he came to Addis. And then now
See,
he's one of the greatest friends I've ever had.
I love that. But that's what I love about you, because you're not the type of person to kind of take no for an answer. You don't give up on your dreams. You look at opportunities. You're always finding new angles to make things happen. And I love that about you. Like, you found them on Twitter, you reached out, you followed up. And so many people don't do that because they're afraid of getting shut down and they're afraid of somebody not acknowledging them. But you're not that way. You just go in. I
No,
love that.
no. Actually, I love no. I love rejection because I do that too. I say no,
Right.
but like one of my proudest moments is when I say no. So when people say no, I don't take it personally. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, that's about them. It's not about me. They
Yes.
have their reasons to say no. And then
Yes.
if they say no, what difference would it make on me? It doesn't make me less of a person. It doesn't make me any other way. I will still be Meti. I will still have my passions, my purpose. I'll continue doing what I do. If they say no, okay, good. That's like, all right, move on to the next one.
But I think
But and
that
be
Dr. Vibe
surprised
said,
when, yeah, when you chase what you want, you'll get it. And if you don't get it, maybe it's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be getting it.
I
There
love
must be a reason for you not to get it.
I love that. Dr. Vibe said, this lady is fierce. she's a powerhouse, man. But from what you said though, Meti, I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people, because we put so much into what other people are going to say to us. We want people to accept us. We want people to accept our ideas. We want them to talk to us and like us, especially people that we look up to. But I think you make a great point, is that just put yourself out there. The worst thing that happens is you're in the exact same place that you are right now. Your dreams are still relevant.
Yeah.
You're still relevant. You still matter. This person saying no to you doesn't make you any less of a person. Like you said, maybe they have other things going on. You don't know. But I love the fact that you just said that, because that's really important for people to know. It's really important that if somebody doesn't accept your idea, or they don't believe in it, or they don't get on board with it, it doesn't make you less than who you are. You are who you are.
Exactly. And sometimes I feel like when they say no to me, because I do a lot of affirmation to myself, like you're scared of no when you don't know you.
Yes.
You're scared of rejection when you're not grounded enough. If they reject me, it does not make me fall, because I'm well grounded.
Yes.
So when they say no, sometimes I feel like, oh, poor you. You don't know what you're missing out.
Right.
You know?
No, but basically that's it. You and I have these talks about affirmations and believing in yourself. And a lot of people think that you and I just wake up with this confidence. Like, okay, one day I just woke up. It's self-work that we do every day. Every day you have to talk nice to yourself. Every day you have to look in the mirror and say, I'm amazing. Every day you have to do that, so that, like you said, you're grounded. You're grounded with knowing who you are. And somebody not accepting you or rejecting you or not believing you doesn't make you any less of a person. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's their loss. Like you said, it's their loss, not yours.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that.
Yep.
And so back to what you've been doing. So now that this COVID thing has been going on and you've had to pivot with your business and so on. So back to what you were saying, we had a conversation about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and pick it up from there again. Tell them what you've been doing and what's been going on.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, earlier you said, I don't know what she means, but she calls herself CVO of Queendom Media. Yes. So CVO is, so I'm not a CEO. You know, like I try to be a CEO of my company, and CEO sucks, man. It sucks. It's like you deal with technicalities.
All right.
So, so like, dealing with government offices, tax issues, and running so it took me away from my creative space. I spend more energy and more time on being a CEO than being a creative person that I'm supposed to be and doing the things that I love. So I decided to be Chief Visionary Officer of Queendom Media. And then now I'm working on this partnership, and I told them, like the partners that I'm discussing with, okay, you do the CEO, I do the CVO. Yeah. I will give you what you can sell. I promise you that. Yes, I can create things that you can sell, you can make profits on. Let me just focus on the creativity. That's part of knowing who I am. Like when I know me, I also know what I don't like. I also know my flaws. I also know where I come in short. Yeah. So I need others to fill that gap. And that's why I call myself a CBO. And they were like, but you have to be a CEO. Well, no, I am a visionary. Like I have to do the vision and the creativity. I will do that. But the CEO, come on, I don't want to do that. So that's what it is. And Queendom, my company, is just a little bit about the name of the company. I call it Queendom because, one, I believe in options. I do not like the one-size-fits-all concept. It does not work with life. So kingdom is not for everybody. And kingdom is just uni. And life works in duality. There is men and women for a reason. So when there is kingdom, look how much how much we all lost. The kingdom is based on masculine leadership. Okay. But then the feminine leadership is missing out. That space is missing out. And there are people who do not thrive in kingdom. They need a space. They need an alternative, an option. because for most part of my life, I've been the black sheep. I've been the weird one, the different one. I don't fit. So if I don't fit in kingdom, either I have to find a queendom or I have to create one.
I
You
love
know,
it. I
so
love it.
that's the
I love that.
concept behind it. And then like kingdom has messed up a lot, as we always do. We clean after you. So I have taken the responsibility to clean up the mess that kingdom has created by creating another community. So, and then with all this clarity came the
Right.
COVID-19 lockdown.
Right. Right.
I'm like, oh, this is actually great.
Right.
Because good thing for me, my work starting slowing down, and it died because the country closed down, or even
Right.
most of the world closed down, because the moment travel was restricted, and the moment meetings in person, like gatherings, were canceled,
Yeah.
most of my works went down. So I had to adjust way ahead of time. By
Right.
the time we're in the house, I have been experiencing the slowdown moments of all the works that I did. So
Right.
it took me a short time to figure this out. Like, yes, I was worried for a few days because it was natural. I
Right.
felt worried, I felt fear, I felt everything. It was natural. I did that.
Right.
And once that wave has passed, then I sat and I reflected on it. I
Right.
love reflections. I love um, strategizing. I love thinking. I love connecting everything to my values. I believe in alignment. So I said, how
Yeah.
am I going to use this time to do things that align with my bigger purpose?
Right.
So
Right.
then I said, okay, one of the opportunities is I've always been told to be virtual, to come on the cyber world, to be active, but I haven't done it.
Right.
So this is an opportunity for me to come here, to
Right.
use this platform, one. And two, the young people that I train, that I coach, I mentor, they're going to miss out on me.
Right.
So I shouldn't do that to them. So
Right.
I have to, because they're here, most of them are here, I can meet them where they are. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things, that's one of the things we should do as leaders and as servers. We serve where the people are. We have to go there. We should not expect them to come to us and to serve
I
them.
agree. Listen, I
No.
completely agree
So
with
I
you.
have to go to where they are.
No, I completely agree
Yeah.
with you.
So I started doing that. Yeah. And then when I thought of that, then you came to my mind because you're the king of the virtual world. So I talked to you and you were like, go. And that's all I needed. Like, go. Okay,
Yeah.
good. If
Yeah.
Danny says go, then go.
Yeah.
Do it.
Look, you and I had this conversation, and we're talking about, the same thing we're talking about now, being more present online. And you said to me, yeah, I think I'm going to try it. And when you said that, I thought you might show up once or twice a week or 3 times a week. You've been going live every single day for the last 6 weeks. That's amazing.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
That's because of the energy that I received from my followers, from my own. I only missed, I think, once a week. That's like I've only missed
Wow.
5 or 6 days so far, and I
That's
tell
crazy.
them even, and then they tell me, like, the comments. I realized what I'm doing was right. Because
Right.
for me, it's not about quantity. It has never been about the number of followers, the number of viewers, the number of this. No,
Yeah.
it's my goal in life is, when I do something, if I impact one person,
Yeah.
that's enough.
That's enough for me
The
too.
rest is profit. The rest is more. So for me, everything has to work with intention and impact. My intention has to come from a good place, and my intention has to align with my values, and the impact should not be measured by anybody else's measurement. My
I love
impact
that.
should be measured by one person, but by doing it, by me doing it. That's the impact. That's it.
No, Meti, I love that because I think there's a good lesson because so often we do things and we look for all of these accolades and we want all of these people to love what we're doing. And like you said, I wrote my book for one person. I said if it could change one person's life, and now it's in 7 or 8 different countries. So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yes.
Let's see some of these comments here.
Yes.
Trudy, what's up? Dr. Vibe, what's going on? Louis in here. Dr. Vibe said Danny is the king of the virtual world. No, I wouldn't say that. But Meti, you know, so based on you going live every day, tell people about the other things that have happened as a result of that, like the coaching and the workshops. Tell them a little bit about that.
Okay, so after Instagram Live, after I started the IG Live, I asked this group of young people, that I made on different platforms. Some of them I give them training, some of them I mentor them. So I just told them, share this with your friends. Ask me questions about this moment because this is something different. So ask me questions. And then most of the questions that came were about anxiety, about not knowing how to cope up with the situation. And for me, I've done that weeks ago, and people are on that mental status. And I realized, okay, let me start by answering those questions.
Right.
And I did. And when I answered, like they keep asking me more and more, and they said, oh my God, you don't know what you've done, like you really gave me that relief that I needed. I mean, every message that comes gave me the validation that I have to continue doing this. And then I said, like the first webinar I gave was on change and changing, and this is a topic that I worked on for like 2 years when I was at a web board. We ran this roundtable discussions, and one of the topics that I was working on was change and changing, and that was like for people. It was a roundtable discussion, like 15 people, 7 people. It doesn't matter. But then I said, I should bring this as a webinar. And again, where did I come? To the master himself. And I run it by you, like the slides and what I'm gonna like, as if you are a participant in my webinar. I practiced it on you, and you commented on few things, and you also gave me that this is something that will help people, so go on and do it. And the webinar, the reaction from the webinar was amazing. And I asked for feedback, and what they said was, one of the questions I asked, if I do this again, would you recommend it to other people? And some of them actually, all of them said, of course, I'll recommend. Some of them actually said, and I will take it again.
Wow. That's awesome. It's so amazing because, again, you just jump. That's what I like. You just jump in, right? Like, too many people we think things, and we try to fine tune it, make sure it's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. There's only a such thing as getting started and listening to people. A lot of us, sometimes we use these platforms just to talk so that people can hear us, but we don't listen back. And the fact that you listen to people and they said, look, we want more. We want to go more deep in depth with you. And you said, hey, I'm going to do some training on Zoom or whatever platform. And then you did that. Because so many of us, we take from people, but we're not willing to listen and to give. And I love that. That's really great. That's great.
Yeah. And then after that, the webinar went really well, and they wanted more. And then I gave another webinar for a Rotaract Club. They asked me, one of the girls that was following me on IG Live, she asked me if I could give training webinar to her Rotaract fellows. And I said, sure, why not? I'm home. I have internet. So, of course, I'll be happy. And then I gave them, because some of them are university students, and some of them are young professionals, junior professionals. So there is this workshop that I give for university students, and I give it to them. And that project was, how do you my life equals my life is equal to my business, or it's like the whole concept is, how do we run our life, how do we lead our life as if it's our project, as if it's our business, as if it's our career.
Okay,
Because
I like that.
you know, we have so many plans, right? We plan, we measure, we evaluate, we go to the next, we strategize. We don't do that in our personal life. So we
No.
have to set goals on every aspect, and life is just not one thing. You know, we are
Yeah.
professionals, we are also like we are emotional beings, physical beings, spiritual beings, professional beings. So we have to align all these things. So for that, we need a strategy. We need to run it as if it's a project. So I
Mhm.
gave them that training, and they just loved it.
That's
And they
awesome.
said,
That's
"Oh
great.
my God." And then I said, you know what? One of the things that I have been putting off for so long, even though I do it, I never properly took a coaching class. You know, I mentor, I coach, but I I did not have like this sequential uh, coaching. How do you call it? I don't know, like the way. So I
This is like a
said,
coaching
okay,
program, a strategy.
program. Exactly. So I said, this is one of the things that I've been putting off for long. So it's time to take it. So I paid and I started taking it.
That's
And
great.
it's
That's awesome.
right now I am like, oh, you should see my notebook. It's all colors, different writing. It's I'm practicing it. I do it myself. I'm living it. I share it with my young people that I talked with, like bits and pieces. And then I said, okay, so this is good. You know, sometimes you want to do things, but you would not do it unless you're pushed. And
Well,
this
I think this
situation
is
pushed me, and it's great.
But I think this is a good lesson for people because I've been asking people, like, what is something that you've always wanted to do, or something you wanted to start, or a goal or a dream that you've had, and then you just kept putting it off because of work and all these other things. You've been home for the
Mm,
last 2 months, right? So many of us have been
yeah.
home for the last few months, and we're still thinking our way out of doing things. It's like, just start. You just started doing the lives. You started doing training. You started the coaching program. Like, you just started, and look at, in like 6 weeks you already have this huge following of people that want more information from you, want to go deeper with you. It's probably going to create different lines of business for you in terms of like more formalized coaching. And I think that's the lesson. Just do something positive, do something to move your life forward, and stop thinking. and
Mhm.
and that's what you've done. And in 6 weeks, look at all the
Yeah,
things that have happened in 6 weeks. I mean, that's amazing.
exactly. And then people who know me actually on work, in my non-work life, in my non-career life, I am very adventurous. I take risks. But when it comes to profession, I am that like that person they call paralysis through analysis, something.
Analysis through paralysis.
That one, I was that. So for me to get to this point, that's a huge transformation, because unless something is so good, unless I'm completely happy with it, I would not submit it. And look, I've been working on newsletters, I've been a reporter, I've been working on radio shows, TV shows, and for me, I always submit on the deadline, always, because I always make it again and again. I never live it, I never get it out of my hand unless I am really satisfied, and that never happened.
Right.
So, if somebody said, I heard like a few months ago, if the product, when you launch the product, if it is perfect, then you're too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but somebody said that, and I said,
Yeah.
okay, it's all about start now, start small, but start.
But let
So
me make
this,
let me ask you, how did you make that shift though? Because you said in your personal life you're very adventurous, but in business you're very methodical and analytical. So how did you kind of make that shift? Like, how did you just go from I'm just gonna start? How did you do that?
Oh, so the beauty of challenge, the beauty of adversity, because one, as I told you, my works, all of my works has been frozen probably 2 weeks before the actual lockdown happened. Like when things were slowed down in Ethiopia, my work
Yeah.
has been 2 3 weeks slow already, dead already.
Right.
So I was not at a position to spend money. I
Right.
had to hold on to my saving for as long as I can, because I don't know how long this is going to
Right.
last.
That's right.
One. Two, I couldn't work with my crew anymore. So I
Right.
couldn't, because I can't pay them. I
Right.
can't pay them, so I can't hire anybody. I have to do
Right.
everything.
Right.
So all and this platform is great. It's live. I've always loved live TV and live radio, and this is live. So I don't
Yeah.
have to do post production. That
Right.
saved so much headache.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Uh,
true.
and the next thing is, uh, I have to be vulnerable. I have to be courageous enough to be vulnerable. So if you've seen the posts on my YouTube, Meti Shewaye Yilma, I posted the interviews and I said, these are Zoom interviews. And even when I was interviewing the people, consider it live.
Mm-hmm.
It's not live, but consider as if you're watching this live on Zoom. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't do any other way. So I had to
Yeah.
be honest, and I had to be honest for myself, and I had to be honest to the people that are watching. So they should
Yeah,
not
Meti.
expect the
And
fact
I think
that I was not covering.
yeah, I think you made a good point. Like, strength is vulnerability, and so many of us are afraid to say that we don't know something or we're struggling, and we're afraid of what other people would say about it. But there's so many people that are going through things themselves, right? There's so many people that are struggling in silence and afraid to say something because of what other people would think. But I like the fact that you just said,
Mm.
"Look, I did it. It's out here. It's not perfect. I'm just here trying to help. Here's some information." And I think
Yeah.
that's really, really important.
Yes.
Some people have some questions for you. Jill said perfectionists can stall us from taking leaps in our life. I completely agree. Basil said,
Yes.
Basil, hey, what's up, Basil? Basil's in here. Basil said, Meti, any new future
Oh,
documentaries? Yeah, my man,
Basil!
Basil's in here.
He's
Uh,
here!
he wants to know, do you have any future documentary that you're working on?
One with you. One with you, Basil.
Basil, it's
We're
coming,
so
Basil.
honest.
Basil's a good friend of mine for a long time, and yeah, we won't
Yeah.
talk about that, but that's definitely something that we all plan on working on. So that's great.
Yes.
Doctor,
So
Doctor, we had another question for you. Dr. Vibe said, "What values did or do your parents instill in you?"
whew, how
That's a
many
good one.
minutes
Yep,
do we have?
he always asks great questions.
I know. I know. Actually, my parents are my foundation, my pillar, my roof, my wall, my sky, my core.
Yeah,
The person that you see now is because of them.
that's amazing.
Uh, if Okay, let me put it this way. So let me give you a bit of a background how difficult it is for them even to do this. Ethiopia is a very conservative country, conservative society. And especially when it comes to raising girls, the things that they put on girls, the burden they put on girls is not easy.
Right.
Women are like women are expected to be a lady, and to be a lady you should not talk much, you should not talk loud, you should not express yourselves, you should not there is so many do's and do not do's for women. And
Yeah.
when they were raising me, when I grew up, I remember all the comments their friends or relatives that used to give them, what are you doing with this one? Because I'm the firstborn and I am a girl, and they're giving me all the space that I needed at every age.
Wow.
And when they were talking to me, they never talked to me as a child. I was a person. I was a
Yeah.
person with a soul, with an opinion, with her own mind. So they never imposed. They were always pushing me to express myself. And
I love
others
that.
would tell them, what are you doing with this one? You're ruining her life. She's not going to fit anywhere in the society. In a way, it's true, and I love it because
Yes.
it's always good to be the weird one, because I'm not pushed to be a conformist. But they're teaching me to be,
Yes.
like not to pretend, not to, and just to be. And
Yes.
some of the lessons they gave me is, if I ask, for example, I need a pair of shoes, and they ask me why, and my friends just got new shoes, so even if they plan to buy me shoes, they
Yeah.
would say no, we're not gonna do it, because we're
Your
gonna
friend.
do it when you need shoes. So next time I have to come back and tell them I need shoes, because look, this one pair of shoes got, ruined, or it wear
Yeah.
out. Like, I have
Wow.
to give reasons for me. No comparison. They always told me, you need to live like you, not like
Yes.
anybody else. Do not compare yourself. And they always told me, if you put your mind on something, you can do it. Your
Mhm.
problem is you do not know your potential. This is
Yeah.
this is what they have been telling me. You
I mean, that's
never
amazing.
knew your. So there are so many things that they have instilled with me, but the major thing is to walk the talk.
Yeah.
They are like, I have never made, and this is not because they're my parents. This is what I heard even other people say. They are the people that I know that live with integrity. They do
Yeah.
not compromise for anything. They live for their values and principles. They're people of integrity, and they're very authentic. Like,
Yeah.
everything is the way they want it. So they live on their own rule, and they
I love
raised
that.
me that way.
I love that.
So
And so,
yeah.
so
Uh,
Métis, like, let
mm.
me ask you, like, what advice, like, would you give to some woman or some young girl that's kind of maybe struggling with self-esteem or confidence? Like, what kind of advice would you give to them if they were to come to you and say, "Hey, I don't feel good about myself. I'm struggling with confidence, self-esteem." What would you say?
uh, Check your belief system, because before other people tell us we're not enough, it's women ourselves tell ourselves that we're not enough, or we're not good, or we're not this, we're not that. But who gave you that narrative? So this is why I'm so crazy about narratives. I'm so crazy about examining beliefs. Our
Yeah.
belief system, who gave it to us? You know, and then when we start, there are tools we do that with. One of the tools is, okay, you may not feel good about yourself, but then write everything that you have,
Yeah.
starting from the air you breathe.
Yeah.
Some things that you have, and some things that you're grateful for. And
Mhm.
when you focus on what you do not have, that's the problem. Start
Yep.
by focusing on what you have. And
I
what do
agree.
you have? And then see how wealthy you are. See how gigantic you are, and see the potentials. And then once you know what you have, then go to the belief system that you have in your mind. Who
Mhm.
told you you're not enough? Who told you you're not good? Because look, you have all these things. So it cannot be you who told yourself. Somebody must have instilled it on you. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
once you know that, don't give them the power. Don't give them the power to control you. Like, without their knowledge, you're giving someone power to run your life. That insecurity, that lack of self-confidence, is somebody else's belief on you, which is not true.
Yes.
That's what's running your life. Don't allow it. And
Oh, I love that.
also, pick someone that you think is confident, that you think is living on her own rules, and hang out with her, or just spend at least spend some time with her. And don't be
Yeah.
afraid of rejection. If this one says no, I'm sure you have so many other women that you look up to. Go to the second one, go to the third one. Someone will say yes, and someone will have coffee with you for some time, and then ask all your questions. First, do the work on your own, and the rest have someone to help you work
I
on
love
it.
that. I love that, Meti. I love that. Dr. Vibe said, control your narrative is key. It is key. And it's a lot of self work that we have to do. It's a lot of, like you said, keep a gratitude journal. Like every day you wake up, like you and I talk about this morning ritual, but I talk about a morning ritual because it's the way that you wake up that actually becomes your beliefs. It becomes your values. And so if you wake up and you have a gratitude journal, as soon as you wake up, you write things that you're grateful for. If you start to look in the mirror and you have this powerful affirmation, I am smart, I'm beautiful, I'm every morning, eventually you're going to start to believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? And I think that's really,
Mm.
really important because a lot of people look at confident people or they look at successful people and they think, oh, they were lucky, oh, they were this, oh, they were that. But it's work every single day. Every day you have to have these powerful, positive conversations with yourself. And it may sound stupid as an adult, but we are what we say we are, right? And I think it's important that people understand that, right? You are what you say
Yes,
you are. So if you say, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I am nobody wants me, then that's what your reality is. But if you say, these
exactly.
are all the amazing things I have in my life, this is what's working, I'm so happy that I have a roof over my head, I woke up today, I'm amazing, I'm powerful, I'm strong, eventually that's going to click in and you're going to start behaving that way. And so, like, as I see this with young women all the
Exactly.
time,
Yes.
you can tell a confident woman and a woman who's worked on herself because she doesn't have time for foolishness. She doesn't have time for
Yeah.
boys to say whatever they have to say to get with her because she knows where she's going, right? And I think
Mhm.
that all comes from self-work.
Yes. Yes. Clarity of who you are is important in every step and every aspect of your life. So that's why I always tell, when someone says something, I say, who said that, and why did they say that? Uh, who built that narrative? Actually, recently, one of the things that I am doing is researching a lot about Africa, a lot about the narratives that we're given. I believe
Mm,
that we're given most of the narratives.
of
You know,
course.
for example, the Ethiopians, like many Black people, we say, oh, we're bad at time. You know, we don't keep time. We don't keep
Right.
time. And one of the interviews that I had was, he's an educator, a great guy. And we were talking about narratives. And he said, we were never been. Look at the church and the mosques in Ethiopia. They start on specific time
That's right.
for centuries,
Right.
and they finish on specific time. And
Right.
when we go to church and mosques, we go on specific times.
Right.
When it's funerals, we never get late, and we
Right.
always conduct funerals on time. You know, we've been growing in this
Yeah.
culture. So where did that, when we don't keep time, come from? We're not
But you
punctual,
know,
come
but
from?
Meti, you know what that is though? You know what that is?
Uh-huh.
It's it's the level of importance that's about that thing, right? You have to put
Yeah.
if it's important to you. Like if I was to say to somebody, I know somebody, I'm going to connect you with somebody who's going to change your life. They can give you your
Mm,
dream job, and you have to be wherever. Of course, they're going to be on time. And so the thing, what it means is that is it worth your time? Is the reason why you're going there? Is it what it is? Is it big enough for you to be there? We don't have a problem with time because you just said we show up to church on time, we show up to funerals on time.
yes,
Many of us show up to work on time. So it's not a time issue. So we have to stop lying to ourselves and saying, oh, it's Black
exactly.
people are just bad with time. That's not true. I agree with you.
That's not true. And then when we keep telling ourselves that, we become it, because the number one person our mind believes in is ourselves.
Right.
it trusts everything we tell it.
Yes,
So,
yes.
oh, you say you're bad at time, so yeah, I'll find reasons to keep you late,
That's right.
to
That's right.
make you miss out stuff. And
Right.
there are so many narratives that, like this. And nowadays, I'm arguing with so many people, and I'm enjoying that on social media. I mean, the lockdown, one of the things that's now working is for the people that I am ranting about. So they keep, for example, when it comes to Africa, they say, oh, Africa is poor, let's go and donate. Do not give us money. Just leave us alone. If we are poor, leave us alone. Don't come to us. Why do you come to a poor, dark continent? Leave us
Right.
alone. Let's run our own resources. Let's
Right.
manage our own wells. And then
Right.
let's see if we are poor. You see,
Right.
they say we're poor, they give us donation, and then we believe that we need donation, and
Right.
on the side, all the African resources have been depleted, have been looted away.
Right.
They may not do it like slavery times and colonization. They don't loot it, but they're looting it
Yeah.
systematically in
Yeah.
a and then now I don't say, and I don't tolerate people when they tell me we're poor. No, we're not. Africa cannot feed itself. No, that's not true. Who said that? One of
Right.
the narratives that I am struggling to change is about my own country. you know Ethiopia, everybody knows her as a famine infested country. The famine 35 years ago, just to give you the truth, the famine 35 years ago happened in two provinces. Ethiopia had 14 provinces. It only
Wow.
happened in two provinces.
Wow.
And out of the 12 other provinces, at least seven of them had surplus. They had surplus. The
Okay.
only thing, market connectivity and infrastructure, that
Right.
was not there. So they couldn't, like Ethiopia from one part couldn't take food to the other part because we were in civil war and we did not have infrastructure. But
Right.
then the Americans, the Europeans, they came with donation, with food, with wheat and flour. They came. And you know what? They brought their own wheat. If they really wanted to help us, they could have bought from one province and seven provinces and move it to the two provinces. They did
Right.
not do that. Why?
Right.
Because they needed to make us believe that we should depend on them for our survival. Why?
Yeah.
Because the 12 provinces in Ethiopia were not affected, was not good for their PR and
Mm.
propaganda. And
Nice.
sadly, we're echoing that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
country has been rich and still rich, but then we've been eroded. Our
Hmm.
values have been eroded because of narratives.
I
So
love that.
that's
I
why
think that's a
we
good
keep
point. That's a
always narrative.
Meti, that's a really great point. I love that because and exactly what you're saying. You can't allow other people to tell you what you are. You have to know that
Yes.
yourself. Hold on a sec. Basil said, "Without knowledge, other people will run your life." That's an amazing quote. He said. Heyman said, "That's awesome." There's a bunch of people in here. People are loving what you're saying. That's great. Um, I think that you're making a great point there, Meti. And I think like how does somebody, like, imagine if somebody's in a difficult relationship with somebody, whether they're friends or their family or their parents don't believe in them. We talked a lot about this already. It's like, affirmations and believing in yourself and all that kind of stuff. But like, how do you deal with people that don't believe in you, or people who have negative opinions of what you're trying to do? You being a woman in Ethiopia, how do you deal with people like that? How do you deal with the negativity?
Let me tell you a very funny story. Really,
Okay.
really, really funny story. I mean,
Okay.
this is the biggest lesson of my life. My parents have always told me, they raised me to believe in me. Like they always say, we believe in you. We know you have a potential. You just don't get it. See what you have and see who you are. So when I was in college, I was not dating. Like I was not dating. Actually, when I was in high school and college, I was like a tigress. Like a boy liked me. Like I wanted to kill him. Okay, so I was like that in college. And but then I grew up with with many boys around me because I have so many guy friends. My friends, even in college, I have many, like a group of boys. They were my friends. They're like I think 6, 7, like they were my best friends. I have few girlfriends, but most of them were boys.
Okay.
So this is like second year. Was it second year, end of freshman? I don't know. But one of my friends, a very close friend, came to me and he's like, Meti, you know what I heard? And he was so mad. And you know, the guys over there, like there's other guys, and he told me they were baiting, and they were baiting over me, and they were baiting. No, it's not that kind of bait. They were baiting because I had 5 friends who were very close with me, and they were baiting that I was like, half of them said I was sleeping with one guy, and half of them said I was not. So no, she did sleep with them. She did not. They were, and then this idiot came to clarify that, like to, I don't know which side he was baiting. So then he came and he asked me that, really? But then why did you pick that one person? Why not the other 4?
Right.
And he's like, oh no, everybody agreed you slept with 4 of them and they only disagree on the one. I'm like,
Right.
what? You think I had affairs with all the 5 of them and you only disagree on one? Yeah.
We have a minute and a half left. We're running out. We have a minute and a half
Okay,
left. So
sure. Okay,
what is something
but
that
for
you want
that
to leave
one,
people with?
yeah, but that one, I knew who I was. I was not even dating. But then those people thought of me that way, gave me, like, whatever I do, it's not about people's opinions. I should know who I am and I should stick with it. That's it.
I love that. I love it. I love it. So where can people find out more about you and what you're doing?
Meti Shewaye Yilma, like now for 10 o'clock, I will go on live on my own IG so they can come there.
So everybody make sure you follow Meti here. She's about to go live now. And Queendom, what's your website that they can go to for Queendom?
For now, we're working on the website. We're reconstructing it. Yeah.
So they can just follow you here. Everybody, make sure that you follow her. As you can see, Meti's a powerhouse. She's full of energy. She's all about women's empowerment. You know, she's a documentarist. She's doing all kinds of amazing things in the world. And you know, she's a good friend of mine. We always have these really engaging conversations. So Meti, thanks so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. And we'll definitely catch up soon, all right?
Definitely. Thank you for having me, Danny. Such an honor.
Welcome. You're welcome. You guys make sure you jump over on her page right now. She's about to go live.
Right now, yes.
Right now. All right, everybody. Take care.
All right.
See you. All right.
Okay.